I know the internet is full of fake horror stories, urban legends, and ghost site rumors that are easy to dismiss. But what I experienced wasn't fake, it found me, and it hasn't stopped. I used to live in a tiny, roach-infested apartment in Kawasaki. It was one of those barely one-room shoeboxes with just enough space for a futon, a desk, and a window that rattled every time the train passed. It was the kind of place you rent when you're young, broke, and too proud to move back in with your parents. I was 21, living off convenience store bento and cup noodles, working nights at a ramen shop in Shinagawa. I didn't mind the grind. I had my laptop, my Wi-Fi, and enough free time during the day to lose myself in weird corners of the internet. That's how it started. It was late 2 a.m. I was half asleep, mindlessly clicking through forums, creepypasta archives, and occult message boards. There was a thread titled "The Red Room is Back, and it's not just a game anymore." That name pulled at something in the back of my mind. I clicked. The post was written by someone claiming they had found a new version of the infamous Red Room curse. If you've never heard of it, well, it's an old internet urban legend in Japan. A cursed pop-up that asks, "Do you like the Red Room?" They say if you see it, you're already marked. Your computer locks up, your name appears on a list, and days later, you're found dead in your room, walls splashed with blood. I always thought it was nonsense. Like the chain emails from the early 2000s, send this to 10 friends or she visit you at midnight. Harmless superstition, but this thread, it was different. There were screenshots. Blurry, distorted images of desktop screens filled with red scribbles and that question, "Do you like the Red Room?" One of the users had posted a link, just a short message, for the Brave. Updated 2025 version. Not a game. I should have clicked out. I should have shut the laptop and gone to sleep. But I didn't. The link led to a black screen. No loading bar, no title, just a blank void. I waited. Then the screen flickered. A tiny pop-up appeared. It was plain, white box. No logo, no close button. And in blood red hiragana, it asked, "Do you like the Red Room?" I froze. It wasn't a video or animation. It was real, a system-level window, not part of the browser. I couldn't close it. I pressed the SC, Alt plus F4, Ctrl plus Alt plus Del. Nothing worked. Then the screen blinked and the pop-up disappeared. For a second, I laughed. Maybe it was a clever prank. Some malware coded to mimic the old legend. I ran antivirus. It found nothing. I shrugged it off and went to bed. That was my first mistake. The next morning, I woke up to scratching. Not outside, from inside the wall behind my futon. I pressed my ear to the drywall. Scritch, scritch, scritch. Like fingernails dragging slowly, not fast or erratic. Just methodical. I knocked. The sound stopped. That night, when I turned on my laptop again, it booted to a red screen. No icons, no desktop, just red. A blood-like shade that hurt my eyes. I forced a hard shutdown. When it restarted, everything looked normal. Except one thing, my browser homepage was changed to a blank page titled, "I like it." I didn't set that. I stayed off the internet for 2 days. Didn't even touch my laptop. I tried to forget it. But the sounds in the wall got worse. They were louder now, deeper, like something was crawling inside. I called the building manager. He came, knocked on the wall, shrugged, and told me it was probably rats. He promised to send someone to check next week. That night, I saw something. It was around 3:30 a.m. I woke up needing to pee and passed my laptop on the desk. The screen was on, glowing red again. But I hadn't touched it. I walked over. There was a new pop-up. No border, no text, just an image, a photograph of me. Asleep on my futon, taken from above, but I live alone. There's no camera in my room, no webcam. I turned off the laptop and pulled the plug from the wall. Then I tossed it into the closet and slammed the door. I didn't sleep. The scratching behind the wall was now pounding. Like something trapped, trying to break through. And then I heard it, a voice, whispering, not Japanese, not English, just guttural syllables. Low and breathless, like someone struggling to speak through a mouthful of water. I turned on every light in the apartment, sat in the middle of the room with a kitchen knife and waited for the sun to rise. When I opened the closet that morning, my laptop was back on. The screen said, Everyone who sees the red room dies. And under that, you let it in. I went to an internet cafe later that day, determined to trace the site I had clicked. But when I typed the URL, nothing came up. No archive, no cache pages, no record. I tried looking up others who had seen the red room pop up in recent years. Most of the posts were old, outdated forums, dead links. But one thread caught my eye, an anonymous post from just 3 weeks ago. It said, "I saw it. It's not on the internet anymore. It uses the internet. It needs eyes, screens, attention. It's not a game. It's a room with no doors. And once you answer, it lives with you." Underneath was a list of usernames. I scrolled. Mine was on it. That night, I went to stay with my friend Koji. I didn't tell him the full story, just said my place had rats and I needed a few nights away. He let me crash on his couch. I felt safer. For a while, but around midnight, his TV turned on by itself. Volume maxed out. The screen was red. No signal, no input, just red. Koji unplugged it. We laughed it off. Power surge, maybe. But the next morning, he asked me something that made my stomach drop. "Hey," he said, yawning. "You said you didn't use your laptop, right? Then why did it send me an email at 3 a.m.? The email had no subject, just an image, a photo of Koji asleep on the couch, taken from above. I left his place that night. I didn't want to drag him into this. Back at my apartment, the walls were quiet. The laptop hadn't moved, but everything felt wrong. The air was thick, heavy, like the pressure before a thunderstorm, but colder. I decided to get rid of the laptop. I took it to the river, wrapped in cloth, and smashed it with a rock until it cracked. Then I tossed it into the water and watched it sink. I felt relief for the first time in days, but it didn't last. That night, when I looked at my phone, I saw a new app. No name. Just a red icon. I hadn't downloaded anything. When I tapped it, the screen went black. Then, slowly, red text appeared. "You can't escape now." I haven't used my phone since. I stopped going online. I even disconnected my power, but it still finds me. Reflections in windows that don't match. Footsteps behind me in empty streets, a low voice humming in the drain pipes. Sometimes I wake up with red smudges on my hands, or find my mirror fogged up, words written from the inside. And last week, a neighbor I barely knew knocked on my door. His face pale, hands shaking, he whispered, "Hey, I think I saw your name on a site, something about a red room." I didn't answer, I just closed the door. But I heard him scream later that night, once, and then silence. I'm telling you this not as a warning. It's already too late for that. If you're hearing this, it means you've already seen it. It means it's already behind the screen, watching. All it needed was your attention. Now you've let it in.